Hi, it's your friend Brain. Before we start today's episode of Deck the Hallmark, this When Calls the Heart episode, wanted to remind you that if you're watching this on Philo, thank you for doing so. Would you do us a favor and just tell everybody that you know that you're watching it on Philo? That'd be fantastic. Tell them how amazing Philo is and that you can watch Deck the Hallmark on it. They won't be disappointed. And if you are not watching us on Philo, if you're listening to the podcast right now, hello. Good day. Would you consider giving Philo a shot? Philo.tv/DTH. I think you're going to enjoy it. Plus, you can watch this episode of Deck the Hallmark covering When Calls the Hearts right now. So head to Philo.tv/DTH. Without further ado, let's get to some When Calls the Heart. Hi, I'm Fran, and I love When Calls the Heart.
Hi, I'm Jax, and I like When Calls the Heart.
I'm Dan, and it's a party in here, but I still despise When Calls the Heart, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Oh my goodness.
We're live in front of 5 people right now.
They came down.
You know what they're doing? It is mid-March, and they're prepping for next year's Bramblefest.
That's exactly right.
Next year's Bramblefest, they're getting an early start on it. 6 months early, they come down and they start prepping.
That's exactly right.
That's what they do mid-March here.
You guys are really on top of it.
They are. They're sticking around for another week. They're going to be here next week for the start of March Madness.
Week. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they're going to prep again the following week, from what I understand.
I think they're prepping this week, and then we're having a big March Madness party the next few weeks.
And then the following week, what are we doing?
Still March Madness.
Still March Madness.
Yeah.
Got it.
Nonstop madness,
It's a
baby.
double March Madness celebration
Exactly right.
situation.
How are we? Can I ask you that?
We're doing great, Brand.
Yeah.
How about you?
Good, we're really good.
How are those
How about
flights
you, Bran?
treating you, Jack? Jack's they getting? I just called you Jack. I'm sorry. Jack's,
You can go whatever you want at this
Jackie,
point.
whatever.
We really, really know each other now.
That's
so
right.
we
You can
transitioned.
call me Daniel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Daniel,
that's right.
and I'm Jackie.
But for the purposes of keeping up appearances,
Yes.
Jax, how are the flights
Yes, Dan.
going?
Flights are great. Actually, so Ted was in New York this time. I know he said he wasn't going to go back, but he was, and he flew with me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How was that?
A bit weird.
It was a bit, you know what? Honestly, though, we've settled into a really nice place with our friendship.
Your friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Friendship.
I love
good.
that.
Good.
I love
That's
that.
Good.
Dan, have you made any new friends this year?
Have I made any new friends this year? Yeah, I've made a few new friends. Sure, absolutely. Have you, Brand?
I have a town update.
Do you really? Have you made any? I didn't have a New Year's resolution to make new friends. That's
I know,
never
but
on
it's
my
all.
radar.
That's all. That's.
But you've been making towns.
I've been. My resolution, Dan, was to make a town.
No, it was to make new towns.
Yeah, well, I will actually
Plural.
back Dan up on
Yeah.
this one.
But I start with one, and then after one,
That's right.
you have the blueprint
That's right.
to start as many as you want. And so I have purchased a plot of land.
In what town?
it's a new town.
Hold on. Just outside of Legramar,
It's just outside of Legromar, and
Yeah.
it's in
New Jersey.
New Jersey. But it's it's an area of land that
So I
doesn't
bought
have a
the
town.
land, and now next step is to get it, like not to be a part of Legramar.
Legramar.
And for it to become a new town. So that's a whole, I have to deal with
There's a lot of paperwork there.
Do you need help with that? That's not that far from me, and Ted and I can do some scouting for you if you
And
want.
also, where'd you get the money for this? Are you holding out? Like,
Hello?
Oh, Trace. Did you use business money for this?
He didn't, but I wanted in. What Brad didn't know is I also made a New Year's resolution to make a new town. So, what are the odds?
What are the odds?
So, yes, I used a lot of business money.
You guys are, it's almost like you're the same people sometimes.
I don't get it.
So, because you both had that New Year's resolution, you thought,
Yes.
we'll use the business money.
Yes.
And this is a line of credit because we are broke.
Can I just pipe in real quick? I didn't know that she did this. This is news to me right
So
now.
where did you get the money from?
Trace was taking care of it.
Okay. Well, then
So-
what you should have put.
I should have. That's on me.
Yeah.
Brick, how you doing, bud?
Oh, I'm doing great, Brad. How about you?
Doing great. Happy
Not
Thursday.
making any towns like a moron. I'm just
What
here
are
doing
you
my
doing?
things. I just booked a Puddles of Mud cover band. I know. That's a
Wow.
big deal.
What
and
are
you
they
know what the
called?
secret is? Is it's still puddles of mud.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They play their songs to see if people can tell if they're the same or not.
What's a Puddle of Mud song?
Blurry?
Okay, how's that one go?
Everything's so blurry. How to say?
Give me another one, Rick.
Everything's so blurry.
So does the Puddle of Mud cover
A bit
band?
of a one-hit wonder. There's some lesser-known tracks. Clear,
Like?
I can see clearly now. Not that one, a different one. It's a response to Blurry.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. That's great. Guys, you were talking about One Calls the Heart, Season 9,
Good to talk
Episode
to you.
8. Hope. You guys want to guess the name of it?
Oh, baby, we're back.
In a sense. It's Hope Valley Days Part 2.
Oh, yeah. We're still doing this.
Yes.
Huh? Thank goodness.
April 24th, 2022 is when it premiered on television, and it went a little something like this. The Hope Valley Days are alive and well. Apparently, there's a second full week of this, so yay. Jeffrey is still in town, isn't planning on leaving. Maybe even talk to Ned about a job that he thinks is rightfully his. Elizabeth goes to find Lucas and shares the tea that she learned that May be married, but he already knows that, so whatevs. You don't need to tell me, I know. But I'm not going to tell you. You tell me. She kisses him, and it's like, imagine the kiss had you told me, is what she says. Like, imagine what the kiss would be if you had told me. And then she kisses him like that anyway. So, big funny. Nathan is still annoyed about the whole thing, but with May. But when he sees Jeffrey going towards May's direction, he gives him a look. It's kind of like this. And Jeffrey walks the other direction.
accurate.
Thank you. So that's really all that you need. Nathan goes to ask May herself, and she is like, I was an apprentice, and he let his imagination get the best of him, forged a marriage document, but then I saw a letter that was meant for him about the Hope Valley job, so I took that letter. I don't know how he found me because he didn't know about the job. I took the letter. It'd been like he never saw it. And Nathan says, I believe you. Frickum is clearly annoyed with Lee about the op-ed that he wrote, and Lee tries to create some small talk with him. Lee realizes in this moment that the pen is mightier than the sword.
You said it, friend.
Lucas meets a new family in town. Apparently, the mom is a school teacher looking for books. Lucas says, you should meet Elizabeth, the teachers. Joseph comes to see Nathan and requests that he arrest May. Not Joseph.
Wait for it.
The other guy. Jeffrey.
Thank
Sorry,
you,
too
Sheila.
many
Sheila.
J's. Jeffrey comes to see Nathan and requests...
Sheila's been here for months.
from us. Well, she loves it. She loves it. Requests that he arrest May, or else he'll have to make some phone calls, and you know what that means. And Nathan's like, okay, fine. Bill has a big old coughing fit, and a little bit of blood comes out. That's not good.
Oh,
Last I heard. Lucas goes to tell Elizabeth about the teacher that's in town, and she's like, I can't go now. I have a class. And he said, I'll hang out with him. And she's like, dope, I'm out of here. Nathan arrests May, and he's not happy about it. Turns out Lucas is crushing it as a teacher, as he does everything else in his life. And he's like, I'll come back and do this again. Mark my word. He'll never be in a classroom ever again. Molly discovers Bill has a bruise from the scuffle that he had with Jeffrey when he, in ways we don't know, knocked Jeffrey out. Faith warns Bill to take the cough medicine and to take it easy. You might have a cracked rib. Can't know. She says this.
I can't know for sure.
Can't know for sure. I don't have an x-ray machine. Just in case Frickum's walking by. Nathan does some digging on May, and the mayor of Chicago calls and says that she needs to be transported back right now. Lee publishes a positive op-ed on Frickum. So real... Will they, won't they over there? Rosemary is proud of him and says maybe one day Lee will run again. He says, no, I will never run again. And I can assure you That he will. At the jail, Nathan releases May from her cell as Jeffrey walks in. He thinks that May is going to go to Chicago with him, but Nathan says, no, I've got some other news. I have found the real marriage license to a woman that you are married to. And he says, what? You found that? I'm out of here. May thanks Nathan with a hug. Hubba. I don't know. The episode ends with Thanksgiving, and the way that Thanksgiving typically is being overshadowed by Christmas. The Christmas tree unexpectedly gets erected. We don't know who put that up, but then Bill looks on from inside and says to himself, April Fools. My friends was When Calls the Heart, Season 9, Episode 8, Hope Valley Days, Part 2.
We're good at this now.
We did it.
Let's,
you know what they say? What? After 20, it's easy. Easy.
20 over the course of
20 over
half
the course
year.
of like 6 months. Yeah, of course.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark.
Dude, what
Giddy
was
up,
your
boys.
favorite Christmas movie that was released in the theater this year in 2022?
Oh, in the theater?
Yeah.
Probably the one with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, that was a good
as
one.
the cat.
Yeah, the cat as the cat. Yeah, that was a good one.
I didn't see that one, but that should surprise no one.
No.
What about yours?
Well, I think I was going to go Cat Samuel L. Jackson as well, if you can believe it.
I will say though, how about that movie? It wasn't in theaters, but with Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell.
Oh, the musical version of Christmas Carol. Yeah,
that was as good, if not better, than we
advertised.
expected.
Yes, for sure.
Topical. Let's break this episode of television down. Hope Valley Days Part 2. The Christmas surprise, as I call it. Jax, what do you think about this one?
Okay, I'm really happy because I love this one. Now listen.
Listen.
Maybe I just have renewed energy this week.
Yeah, this week it feels like we're over the hump.
But I did not think
nothing can get us down.
Nothing at this point. I did not think we needed more Hope Valley Days. I was okay.
No,
I know.
No, come on.
I liked the first one, but it did feel a little slow. I was so in on this episode. I'll get there. Lee and Rosemary, Romeo and Lee as Romeo and Juliet. I mean, come on. That's my favorite Shakespeare quote. I'm gonna look at you, Dan, when I do it.
Okay.
My bounty is as boundless as the sea.
Great.
My love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
You really know the whole thing.
I know all of Juliet. Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
How many times have you played Juliet?
I haven't. I just wanted to. In grad school worked on it so
ready.
much. But I'm ready. I think I might have aged out of it a little bit.
She has a sizzle reel. If you're listening out, that she will send you all of her screen or tapes.
I do. I have so many tapes of me auditioning for Juliet and not booking it.
You guys remember that "We the King" song? Check yes, Juliet.
Check yes,
Juliet. Are you with me? My own into my heart, run, baby, run. Don't go to Hope Valley.
Yeah. That was a long way to get there, but we did. We got there.
That's under my Juliet sizzle reel, so maybe that's why I never booked.
I love
Jax
that song.
has 100% never heard of that song or that band. Yeah.
No.
Well,
I thought you actually.
Can you name another "We the King" song?
Check yes, Juliet.
They have a
Blurry.
They have a great song with Demi Lovato.
No, they don't.
They do. They do.
That's not possible.
It's a really great track.
All right.
Demi crushes as she does.
As per usual.
So yes to this episode.
I had so much fun in this one. I also loved seeing Lucas teach a little bit. Now, do you guys? I'm going to do a reference for a movie because I've seen some.
Okay.
Waiting for Guffman.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Okay,
yes.
you know the Teacher's Pet song?
Yes. Fantastic. He's not seen Waiting for Guffman. There's no world where he's seen it.
Dan, I wanted to sing it.
I don't remember the song.
Teacher's Pet. I want to be teacher's pet.
Oh, my gosh.
Long after school is through. Teacher, teacher, I love you. And then she goes into a split.
That's right.
I wanted to do that when I saw Lucas teaching.
Man. That's
That's
impressive.
my hot take.
Man, what a callback. Waiting for Guffman's a great movie.
I just have been doing everything to rack my brain this last week, trying to think of a movie I could reference that Dan would know and be impressed that I saw.
Christopher Guest.
Yep.
This is Spinal Tap and
Best in Show.
Best in Show is
Teacher, I
my
love
favorite
you.
of all time.
What is it? Teacher,
Teacher, I love you.
So I didn't know how badly I needed a Christmas episode of When Calls the Heart that doesn't
This
take place
isn't
at
one.
Christmas time and takes you
This
completely by
isn't
surprise. The last 5 minutes of this episode is something magical. The Christmas hit me harder than it should have.
I'm so glad I didn't watch this with you.
Oh my gosh, I love the Christmas. When they walked up and they saw the wishing tree, yeah. And I just want to say, while I will get to the tree being erected by Bill, how did it happen? We'll get into those details in a little bit. The callback to the wishing tree movie from a few years ago where Bill didn't believe in the wishing tree.
Yes.
And
Same
now
exact tree.
Bill is the one putting up the tree.
Yes.
Is everything that is right with Christmas. And so it worked for me. Everything else in the episode, I was reading the synopsis, I was like, forget about that, because Christmas came on screen and immediately that's all that I cared about. So this episode is probably the best episode of television I've ever seen. Dan?
The fact that they made that specific callback was impressive for a show and an episode that is the dumbest idea on the dumbest show I've ever seen. So the Hope Valley Days as a
Part two.
concept.
Part two.
Part two.
Dan.
But the idea of Hope Valley Days is just absurd. And we find out toward the end of this episode that they're about to go into what the Reverend calls the real holidays. So we find out that this is taking place in like late November. Mm-hmm. Why not just have actual holiday celebrations? Instead of having a week-long fake holiday celebration, why not actually celebrate Thanksgiving and Hanukkah and Christmas and do big real celebrations?
Because that would make sense.
That would make sense. And instead we get 2 episodes that and Halloween for that matter. Like what? And we only get one scene of May Sue's Valentine's Day thing. So they could have just done the real ones. What was the purpose of this? It was so frustrating. This episode does have 2 scenes that are better than anything in Hope Valley Days Part 1, but it's still just miserable.
Can you tell us what those were, or are you saving it for later? That's feel. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, you had feels?
Yeah, but they're both.
Okay.
But they're the 2 scenes you 2 have mentioned.
Okay.
I can just right into it, Brand, so you don't have to.
Time for the feels.
Lucas teaching is a great moment, I think, and Chris McNally does a great job in that scene. It makes me think that maybe Elizabeth is a bad teacher.
Those kids seem like, thank
those kids
goodness.
are like, for the first time ever, I'm being educated. And so that's a little disheartening if you're an Elizabeth stan, but as it stands, Chris McNally does a great job. Lucas does a great job. And then even though it makes zero, this will come up again in my Wait What's, even though it makes 0 sense, none, not an iota, an inkling of sense. When Bill Avery sips his coffee and says, April Fools.
Dude,
I smiled.
Did I tear up?
No, that's dumb.
Maybe.
But like I was like, man, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But for his character to get to do that was funny. That's what I got.
Any feels for you, Jax?
Oh yeah. So I mean, you both have already alluded to it, but Bill Avery, he put it together. You're right. It doesn't make sense. And when they sing, and Bran, this is why I'm glad I didn't watch it with Dan, but I'm sad I didn't watch it with you. Holy moly. When they started singing, Oh, Come All Ye Faithful, It got me, and I was crying, and I was crying pretty hard. Oh, no. Those are my feels.
Boo.
How do you feel, Bran?
I love Oh Come All Ye Faithful. What
So
a jam.
much. It takes, and it's so, it's joyful and hopeful, but also very melancholy.
Joyful and triumphant.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So you guys have already said everything that needs to be said, so I will go in a different direction. Jack, and this is going to hurt you seeing as how you quoted Shakespeare earlier. I don't like Shakespeare. I don't get it. It's kind of like how I feel about beer. Like anything that takes a while to get used to, I'm not into it. Like, yeah, I either like it or I don't like to. Why am I going to spend a bunch of money to drink beer until I like it? Not going to happen. Kind of the same way with Shakespeare. It's like it would take a while for me to be able to like dive into this, and so not going to.
Iambic pentameter so
that's you. No, that's not your fault. Can I tell you, Brand? You've seen the wrong Shakespeare, and people have explained it to you wrong. Because you would be a perfect, fun fool in Shakespeare. You're like Malvolio.
Thank you.
You're falling into the trap.
Okay, I'm just saying you've been done
now
wrong.
You're doing the bit where you're like, you just haven't had my mac and cheese. That's what you're doing right now.
I'm so sorry it's been ruined for you.
You just haven't had good fish. It's not that you don't like seafood. You just haven't had good, like off the coast seafood. If someone says they don't like Shakespeare. They don't like Shakespeare.
I do hate when people do that thing, and this is like one of the few things I'll do it about. So I just had to. I'm sorry,
I think
Brand.
part of it is like of the core subjects in school. Like I know this is going to shock Dan because I don't speak well, but English was my favorite subject. I love stories.
You're a great writer too.
Well,
I don't know.
I think you are.
There's a lot of things that I'm great at, and writing's not one of them. But
you write good. You write good. Sometimes you're the goodest. You're the goodest writer.
My experience with Shakespeare is like having to read it and just being like, So, Rosemary doing this whole thing where she does the Shakespeare bit, and then Lee is very clearly over it. Gave me feels. I was like, yes, that's how I would be if someone did Shakespeare to me. So he did that. He did that response excellent. And as you can hear by how I said that, I crush English.
He did that response.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back here on Dick the Hallmark. Did
you say Dick the Hallmark?
Let's get to the wait what. As far as show we talk about what in this episode of television made us go wait what. Jax?
I only have one little thing, and I wanted to get both of your opinions on it. So when Lucas doesn't tell Elizabeth the thing that Nathan has told him in confidence about Mace Sue, and then she decides to withhold physical affection because of that, I think that's pretty screwed up.
Oh, that was terrible.
Okay, good.
She's a monster. She's a monster. One, it's not even like they're married. I don't know if that changes things much, but their relationship is still in its early stages. And he's trying to gain the trust of Nathan. So, like, all of this context makes Elizabeth more of a monster. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, my wife works in healthcare. She won't tell me she's signed an oath, right? Different. It's legal, but she signed an oath. She doesn't tell me anything about any patient she sees. Even if I have a dear friend whose kid saw my wife, I find out from them, not her.
Really?
Yeah. She doesn't, none of it. And he said he wouldn't tell anyone. He's not telling anyone. He's, once again, somehow, Lucas is being the most upstanding person on the show.
Gosh, it always comes back to the truth with you. Good Lord. And like keeping secrets. And it's obnoxious.
The thing is, she doesn't even need to know for any moral or good reason. It's like she just wants the hot goss.
That's right.
I get it. We all do.
She wants the tea.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all? I have a few. One is... one that only I would have because of the way that I watch this and the way that I take notes. Whenever I'm writing my synopsis, HallmarkChannel.com has done something with When Calls the Heart that they don't do for anything else that I know of, which is they put for each episode a very detailed synopsis. And so if I miss something, I can be like, okay, that's what happened here. Like it wasn't clear, but now I see what they're
trying to bang out like 5 or 6 in a row or something. Yeah.
Hypothetically.
Now that we've ever done that.
One thing that I noticed watching this, because I watched this one by myself with earbuds and the subtitles were on. And Jeffrey on the subtitles was spelled with a G, Geoffrey.
Okay.
On the Hallmark Channel's website, it's Jeffrey as you would imagine it to be, Jeff Ery. Jeffrey. So
that's how he would imagine it to be.
Jeffrey. Hi, Jeffrey.
So I'm just baffled at how those two things.
Three-syllable Jeffrey. I saw him.
How the name can be like, and it was multiple every time Jeffrey was said or mentioned or whatever. That was spelled with the G in the subtitles, but not on the website. So just
interesting.
Just something for me.
Didn't line up.
Just something for me to chew on.
That's a good little nugget.
Our guy Frick, Mayor of the Year over here. Introduces a fire carts thing.
with a hose.
That he says he got with the discretionary fund.
That's right.
The X-ray machine couldn't be bought with the discretionary fund?
We're on the same page, Brand.
It is something for first responders to use in case they have to.
And
they're the same thing.
I do want to be clear. Hickham's fire hose cart thing only works extensively to put out a fire if they're near a well of some sort.
It's true.
Whereas an X-ray machine will work by itself.
Since he said no to the X-ray machine, they've needed it twice.
Yeah. Save actual lives, buy something that looks cool but actually doesn't help that much. And somehow this guy's mayor of the year.
Yeah.
According to Lee. Lee's been convinced.
And last but not least, and I know, well, this is probably the biggest one of the episode, but this whole episode, Bill is not doing well. They think that he might have a cracked rib.
Yes.
He is coughing blood.
Yeah.
Somehow, by himself,
That's right.
was able to get the wishing tree out of storage. I don't know. Put into the center of the thing.
Where no one saw.
Where no one saw it. Get it completely decorated top to bottom for Christmas.
Yep.
I don't see what the problem is.
I had it as well,
He's
Brand.
super-
The cracked rib, not
He's
a problem.
Superman to me.
Well, that's the thing with Christmas miracles. I'm fine with it. Like if his cracked rib doesn't bother him during Christmas, so be it.
So be it. It's a
So
Christmas
be it.
miracle.
So be it. Dan?
Yeah, I do want to juxtapose the problems and the trials that Abigail has to face as mayor versus the hurdle, if we can call it that Hickam has to jump over as mayor. Abigail has to go into town councils to see if there's going to be a school, to see if they're closing the mine, to decide who's right in major disputes. Hickam plans a fake holiday week, and everybody says he's the best mayor ever. He's the worst mayor. He's bad at his job. I just, to say no to an X-ray machine and to say yes to Hope Valley Days, I bet he put actual money into those dumb events. I couldn't believe it.
But did Frickum bribe his way to get his kid into college?
Probably not.
No.
So yeah, there's a little bit of both there. I also need to say this. I should
We
go
all
without
have our
saying,
faults.
but I need to say this.
One spends a lot of money on holidays
Yeah.
in the middle of the year, and the other bribes college to get their kid in the college.
Yeah. I do want to be I do want to be clear, and I shouldn't have to say this, but I need to say it. If it actually is the holiday season, and there's a Christmas tree up, and it is the time of year where you sing a Christmas carol and get festive, 100% of that is not an April Fool's Day prank. None of that is an April Fool's Day prank. April Fool's Day would be tricking you into something. Gotcha. I lied to you. What Bill did is he decorated for Christmas. He did not perform any sort of April Fool's Day prank of any kind. So him saying through the blinds, April Fools, is maybe the most unearned thing in the world. I did smile though. But it's the most unearned moment in this show, which is impressive. That's all I got. Oh, Gustav with the accordion on the bench. It's basically like Hope Valley Clue. Like all of a sudden we look over, Gustav's like, somebody singing "Oh Come All You Faithful"? Let me grab my accordion real quick, not let this moment pass.
And he said he was leaving town.
And you had a problem with that?
Just that we just pan over and he's there.
I wouldn't have had it any other way.
Yep.
It's time for Hopes and Valleys. Anything giving you hope or bumming you out?
Yes. I am hopeful that we will see, and I know Dan's going to hate this, so I apologize in advance, more of Rosemary getting to be theatrical.
Oh, my. You think there's not enough of that?
No.
This is like Brian when he wanted more band practice. What was that? I feel like that was maybe
Half a year
6
ago?
months ago. He was like, this movie was great. I just needed more band practice.
I just feel like I would just watch a flashback of her at a whole season of Summer Stock. I'm hopeful. I have no valleys. I have no peaks. I have no valleys.
You got it. Yeah, peaks are hopes.
That's my hope.
Yeah.
I have no valley.
I'm happy for you, Jax.
Thank you.
I
man.
am filled with Christmas cheer in the middle of March, and that's giving me hope for that anything is possible if you decide to decorate your town for Christmas in a time that it's not. So all the hope in the world, just in general. General hope because of Christmas.
General hope. I have a legit hope this week, and that hope is that I hope that I can make it through 4 more episodes. We're so close.
We're so close.
We're so close to being done. I need a break. I feel like it's coming.
Only one more month.
My value is that there's still 4 more episodes. So it's a both and for me.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. Do we have a What's Calling My Heart?
Do, Bran. If you want to tell us what's calling your heart, you can email us hello@deckthehallmark.com.
Do it.
This is from Aaron Shea. Gosh, we love Aaron Shea around
Aaron
here.
Shea.
Hello, Bran, Dan, Jax, and Panda, gone but not forgotten. It has been said before, but what's calling my heart truly is this podcast community. Man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through another one of these emails. This looks like it's going to try to get us to cry. I can tell already. June of 2018 was a month of massive change for me. I moved out of the home I had lived for 28 years, moved to a new state, started a new job, and was living on my own for the first time ever. Shortly after, I discovered the DTH podcast, and it became my main source of comfort. All around me, everything was changing, but Hallmark movies were familiar, and I finally found a group of people who could love them while also rolling their eyes at them. I struggled to make friends in my new town. Making friends as an adult is hard, but DTH had this built-in group of friends. These friends have been there through every hope and valley of the past few years. So many double-deckers have sent cards or checked on me or checked in when I was down. I am not always great at responding or telling people how I feel, but I hope they know just how much they mean to me. To give a couple of shout-outs, Marin Hogue. She has consistently been there for me, listening to me brain dump about my entire day, encouraging me, cheering me on, and cheering me up. She has seen me cry more than anyone else in my entire life, and somehow still wants to talk to me the next day. Jen Bliss. We used to work together in elementary education. After I moved away, this podcast kept us close. We met Colleen and Andy once at Christmas Con in 2019, and now the 4 of us talk every day. We have bad movie nights. We share recipes and hair appointment inspiration and craft ideas. I can vent to them about anything, no matter how big or how petty, because I know they'll be there with me. And just as important, if not more, have been the guys themselves. Bran, Panda, and Dan, you helped me to find myself. You let me guest write movie reviews for Bad Movie Month back in March of 2020. It was the first time anyone besides a teacher or a family member read something that I wrote. What I wrote mattered, and people thought I was funny. As COVID started to take over the world and nothing seemed certain, it changed how I viewed myself. I mattered. When I furloughed later that year, I hit complete rock bottom. I gave up on being an active participant in my own life, but then you guys asked me to help out with Take the Day Off. Your trust in me gave me a purpose again. I found a confidence I didn't know I had. I found my voice again. And now in 2022, that community, that sense of self, and that voice has helped me to become a top-notch version of myself. It may be dramatic to say that this podcast saved my life, but it definitely changed my life. Deck the Hallmark will always be calling my heart. Your friend who will move to that Greenville if Take the Day Off ever comes back, Aaron Shea. Dear gracious.
Guys.
Wow.
We have a lot of fun here at Deck the Hallmark.
Dan, I feel like you're as emotional as I am right now. I think.
It's all fine, Aaron.
Oh, man, you guys.
We'll do it again another time. And
wait, it's Brandon. Your reaction? It's like, oh my God, do you get like weird about compliments and stuff like this?
I get weird about compliments.
I don't like
But
compliments.
you both are. Well, let me just be proud enough for the both of you. You guys are the best.
That
oh
was
my gosh,
that was a
really
tough read in
great.
all the best ways.
It was
Aaron.
beautiful.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Well, we'll do it again. Until next time, we'll be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Christmas.